Good morning, Team Water. Today's the beginning of week 2. Hopefully you guys are still doing well. Many of you completed your week 1 project and it looked great. Those that have been turned in have been graded in both Google Classroom and PowerSchool and put in. If you haven't finished your week 1, please take care of that first before you move on to week 2. If you have questions, there's 2 videos of how-tos that I posted on Google Classroom and along with the directions there. Or you can always email me or Google Chat, or if you need extra help, we can do a Google Meet and I can show you sort of virtually in person. So definitely reach out if you are still struggling with week 1 so I can clarify that for you. All right, let's move on to week 2. Week 2, you guys are going to be working on the living things in my backyard, in your backyard. So we've been talking about living things all year long, from bacteria to protists to fungi, plants, and then finally animals, starting with invertebrates, and then we'll work our way to vertebrates, hopefully when we get back into school. If not, we'll do that virtually. So you guys are going to be looking at different critters in your backyard or different kinds of living things. They could be plants, they could be animals, they could be vertebrates or invertebrates, they could be fungi. They can't be bacteria or protists because you can't actually see those without a microscope. So let's look at the project that you guys have in front of you on Google Classroom. Flip my screen here. Okay, so the first thing you'll come to is the Living Things in My Backyard project. It says we've been spent about 6 months looking at the diversity of living things, all the 5 kingdoms. Even though we're not done, we've covered a whole bunch of invertebrates with just echinoderms left to discuss, and then we'll be moving on to vertebrates. So many of you have lived on planet Earth long enough to know that there are fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals in the vertebrate group. So you can use those for your project, as well as all the other living things we discussed that are macroscopic or not microscopic. So the purpose of this project is to observe a diverse group of living things in your backyard and link those observations to your understanding of the 6 characteristics of life. So you're going to go outside and look for a variety of different living things. There's some requirements about what you must select for your groups of living things. You're going to observe them for 3 to 5 minutes. I highly recommend you time yourself. And as you do that, you're going to put your observations into a chart. That should look something like this. And I gave you a chart to print out if you want, or you could just write it down on a piece of paper. That's fine. Make sure that you are taking a photograph. You can take that with your Chromebook, which is the easiest way because then it will be stored in your Google Drive automatically. Or you can take it with your phone, but remember to email it to yourself using your school email. So it will then arrive in your school email on your Chromebook and you can use it for your projects. So you'll make observations about the critters that you see. Make 5 observations, take a photograph, and then as part of your writing, you're going to discuss how your observations support a portion or all of those 6 characteristics of living things. Remember, those are made of 1 or more cells, obtain and use energy, grow and develop, sense and respond to change, reproduce, and have DNA or RNA. That information that you take, your observations and how you relate it to those 6 characteristics, will be put into a product of your choice. You can do a slideshow, you could do a poster, you can make a children's book out of those living things in your backyard. You could do a documentary style video, or you could do postcards like from a zoo. If you've ever gone to a zoo, they'll often have an animal on there with a whole bunch of facts on the back, in addition to the place where you can write. So however you choose to do that, you can do these postcards digitally as well. You'll actually make them in Google Slides or in Google Doc. And if you need help with that, just ask and I can show you how to do that. This project is due Friday, like all of our distance learning projects. You can see here the rubric down below. So you want to focus on the 5 column and get 5s for each of those categories, making sure you're addressing all living things. You have a clear photograph, you've done your observations, and then you're connecting those to the characteristics of living things and producing a quality product at the end. So the very first thing that you need to do is go outside and fill out your observation form. This is also linked. While this first document, the directions document, is a view-only document, this Living Things in My Backyard observation form, I've put one in there for each of you. So you can edit this. You can print it out, or you can just use it as a guide to make the same form on paper if you don't have a printer or don't want to take your Chromebook outside. So you'll fill that in and then make your product from there. Okay. As always, if you guys have questions, if you need help using your Chromebook or making something digital, I highly encourage you to make it digital. If you're doing a hand-done project, you'll take pictures and post them in Google Classroom so I can grade it on time, but you will have to drop those off at school. And that becomes kind of a pain for you and for your parents. So as best as you can, make this a digital project. And if you need help with that, just let me know and I can show you how to do that. Always email me with questions. Make sure you're reading all the directions. Good luck, have fun, and get outside. I'll see you guys later. Bye.